Hello, and welcome to yet another luxury driven adventure where we explore all things luxurious. The cars designated as one offs, limited editions, special issues, and rare finds are truly the rarest and most expensive. They're usually commemorative cars, commemorating a car company's anniversary or a special event, or cars that won a major race in the 1950s and the 1960s. Today, boys all over the world debate between Messi and Ronaldo who is best, much as there were comparable debates 30 years ago about whose car is cooler, the Lamborghini Countach or the Ferrari F40. This red deity was born in the 1987 to commemorate the brand's 40th anniversary. The supercar accelerated from 0 to 62 miles per hour in 3.8 seconds, earning it the designation F40. Even by today's standards, it has an amazing engine power of 478 horsepower beneath the hood. This is the first car to break the 200 miles per hour threshold that has been lawfully made. This was also Enzo Ferrari's final model. He was 90 years old at the time, and the number of team wins in the race had dropped substantially. So he was tasked with designing an automobile capable of contending with the new race leaders. The model that became his final accomplishment holds the title of the world's fastest serial automobile. To buy such an automobile, you need to put down several $1,000,000. When it comes to expensive prices, it's time to consider the following model. In every way, the Mercedes-Benz 540K is a royal vehicle. It was built for the Prussian kings in 1936, and it was used by the monarchs of Iran and Romania at various times. Baroness Gisela von Krieger of Prussia, who was a close friend of Adolf Hitler and Jack Warner of the Warner Brothers American Film Studio, still owns one of their 32 donated automobiles. The Barons transported it to America in 1942, where it sat in the garage for more than 4 decades, coated in dust. However, following a complete restoration in 2012, this stunning specimen was auctioned for an incredible $11.8 million. Let's take a look at another royal car, the Bugatti Type 41. This was given the title of royal because of its exceptional attributes, and it is rightfully regarded the world's most opulent automobile. Ettore Bugatti is the company's founder, who originally wanted to make as many as 25 copies of the car, one for each of the top 25 wealthiest persons in the world at the time. However, due to the Great Depression, he was limited to only 6 models. In light of the exorbitant price, there were no takers for the 2 cars. Thus, they remained in the Bugatti stable. During World War II, a copy of the calendar coach's body was hidden behind a false wall on the family estate. In 1950, the heirs sold their family car to Briggs Cunningham, a millionaire writer who broke up with the car only 40 years later. The car was sold at an auction for a record at the time of $5.5 million after a competition between 4,000 auctioneers. The price of this one-of-a-kind item has skyrocketed in recent years, yet the owner's identity remains a mystery. The names of the owners of this powerful Mercedes, however, are well known to everyone, including Japanese Emperor Hirohito, Pope William II in exile, and Adolf Hitler himself. The Mercedes-Benz 770 is a luxury automobile that was manufactured between 1930 and 1943. The cult of gigantism and Aryan superiority suited a big automobile wonderfully. We all know what happened to Germany, Hitler, and the rest of Hitler's followers. But what happened to their gorgeous automobiles? Only a few Mercedes-Benz 770s have survived to this day, as the majority were destroyed during the war. The Canadian War Museum does, however, have one of the 7 cars used by the Führer himself. What are your thoughts on this fresh spick and span moto? It's a rare occurrence. It may appear to be a pun, but it isn't. The Moscow Tuning Film, which was founded by a group of vehicle enthusiasts, completed an unusual endeavor. The Volga V12 is a new version of the Volga. However, just from outside, the BMW 850 CSI serves as the foundation for this new car, which is fashioned like a classic USSR emblem. It boasts a 5.5-liter engine with 280 horsepower and a fast speed on board. Now you're looking at the Ford GT40 in front of you. This is the most expensive automobile ever sold at an auction in the United States. This automobile was created in 1968 with the goal of winning long-distance races against Ferrari. In the bibliography of the one-of-a-kind automobile, there are also celebrity races, historical rallies, and even a film role to consider. In 1970, the automobile was featured in the film The Lame Man as one of the primary characters, of course, although the roof had to be chopped off for filming. The original view of the car was preserved. In the end, the car used in the film was sold at an auction in Monterey for $11 million, which is significantly beyond everyone's expectation. The auction's owners had to even edit the Guinness Book of Records. This is yet another release from the Italian label. It's a Ferrari 250. People nowadays are on the lookout for the 1957 Testarossa. The scarlet caps on the upper half of the 300 horsepower engine gave the automobile its name, which means redhead in English. This car exemplifies the Italian company's golden age. There were 22 identical roadsters made in all, one of which sold for $16.4 million in 2011. Another Testarossa made sold for $12 million during the auction. Why is there such a price disparity? The solution is straightforward. The automobile seen above is an estimated prototype, the first in a cult series of these cars. Since we're talking about code cars, we can't leave Lamborghini out. It's a classic right in front your eyes. The Lamborghini Mira is a 1960s sport automobile built by the firm. By the way, the powerful vehicle was called after the Spanish Ganaderia, a farm dedicated to the production of vicious fighting bulls. The Lamborghini Miura SV in the video is particularly noteworthy due to its fascinating past. This family heirloom was forgotten and stood unused in the garage for a quarter century. The car has remained totally original, to the point where the former owner's Concord radio even had a cassette with the then new Rolling Stones album left in it. The item was meticulously restored and now appears to have come straight from a factory. So we got to that historical car, which for a long time was thought to be the most costly. The Bugatti Type 57 SC Atlantic 1936, which was re-released in 2010 and sold for a record $38 million at an auction. This supercar was only made in 3 versions, and only 2 have survived to this day. The first is from Ralph Lauren's collection, and there's a tale behind it. It was commissioned by Rothschild. Peter Williamson, who had come down with $50,000, was the owner at the time. It's worth nothing that after 40 years, he sold his Bugatti for $38 million, proving that his investment paid off. There was a 210 horsepower that can reach a high speed of 124 miles per hour. This speed may appear slow to some, but keep in mind that this masterpiece was created in 1936. Finally, here is the 1962 Ferrari 250 GTO. It is now the most costly retro automobile on the market. Behind the body of this car is great history. In 1964, it won the prestigious Tour de France. It won the race for the city of Chamrus in the year 63. Since 1974, the car has belonged to collector Paul Pappalardo for the next 2 years. Note that he was extremely fortunate because, according to the criteria, the candidate had to be personally approved by Enzo Ferrari. Paul decided to sell the car at an auction not long ago for reasons that remain unknown. The Ferrari 250 GTO with chassis number 5111 was auctioned for a whopping $38,115,000. As a result, it is the most expensive classic car, if not the most expensive car ever sold openly at an auction. So that is it for the 10 most expensive and rare cars in history. As always, this has been fun. Subscribe and follow to Luxury Driven for more adventure in the world of luxury.